That's okay. You spoke well. When I say spoke well English. You well spoken. In terms of like how you articulate yourself and so forth. So that was the key then, and then you recognize that, and then you say, oh, this individual needs to go far. How can I support my goal? Or my plan was, how can I support you to ensure that you reach your dreams? As a parent, I think you shared as well that we don't get to understand in terms of like where you want to be later on, and so I remember, I think, me grasping the whole thing first, okay, music, and then saying, oh, how can I support you as Sindile? Xolile, what role are you going to play into that? Of course, convincing your beloved mom back then, and and later on, Sis Bako. But I think one thing that I remember then going, I think it was a camp. I hope I remember this correctly. I think it was a camp when you gave me attitude. When your kids give you attitude, and you'll be like, I don't believe this is the same individual that I raised. And then now, definitely this individual is gonna get a spanking.
I remember that.
Also,
Hey, it's your boy Kaufman. I'm out here in Cape Town. Barcelona, in a pole. South Africa, man. It's yet another episode of the Black Couch. Shout out to everyone who is subscribing to our YouTube channel. We are currently over 370 subscribers right now. And there's a brand new episode, the March edition of the roasting session, featuring Pizzo, the cool guy on the beats, and Evo Abatwanguzeli, OG Tyler, Samora Makwa, and Mapra in Kanyamba. Check it out, man. And make sure you vote on the poll on the Mayhemers Facebook group. Make sure you vote for your favorite artist, the artist of the month. They will be featured on the Roasting Session Mixtape Volume 1 next year in January, man. And today I have a very, very special podcast, man. It's very close to home. Really, really close to home, man. The reason why I'm like this today, it's partially part of Utayex Xolile Makutwana.
Sure.
Welcome to my platform.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, and greetings to everyone that is out there. Yeah, thank you for having me. So, it's good to be in the space, to feel the vibe, as you always say. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, the interview for me, it's very surreal because like I grew up under Izandla Zaka, I would say, and now having you on my platform, it's like a blessing in disguise. It's like a fulfillment of each journey. Understand? Because there's one moment that I'll never forget in my life where Osis Bambo by 2 called you in for a meeting. And they were complaining about the behavior and everything. And on that day you said something. You said that what if Lenda Yenzayo, it's what's good for him.
Sure.
Why don't you guys give him a chance?
Sure.
If he wants to get registered in a music school, why don't you give him that platform? And I think at that day they eased down a little bit in terms of being strict. And here I am right now, doing what I love.
Sure, that's
Thank
good.
you.
That's good.
Thank you so much.
Online say I remember the event. I was wondering, go to Zotini, even with that. I'm wondering, what did I say?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, now you're both in their side, and then also like trying to also explain that they can also give me a chance, and it worked out very well. I understand. So for people who are watching, like briefly, like kind of like tell them like Xolile Makutwana Ngubani, and then so
Sure, like I said, greetings. So my name is Xolile Wakamakutwana, as Sindile said. Born and bred here in Cape Town. A father of a beautiful daughter, Tabile, and husband of one wife, of course. Man. So I think, the work that I do, and as you have mentioned, Sisuka good, we coming back, while you were still like a young boy, really. And I think I've been so passionate about, just to work with those who have lost hope, you know, within their life, and then to say, hey, you know, there's a greater chance for you tomorrow. You know, why don't you actually acknowledge your capabilities, what you can do, and focusing on the bigger picture, which is your dream. I believe that when you do that, you know, and then the rest will follow. Something that I've been passionate, you know, back then. I'm still passionate about it even in this day. So that's basically me, man. Sure.
Okay. There's actually a friend of mine, the 14th of February, I was helping shooting a short film up at Uluntu on that open space. And she's from Khanyisa. She asked, what was happening here before? And I was like, wait for it. There's a podcast coming in so that you can briefly understand what was happening. I want you to, like, I don't know when Uluntu started, but I want you to briefly tell me, when did you get introduced to Uluntu and what was it before?
Sure. No, I mean, really, I don't know the long history of Uluntu Center, but to share. So I'm a Christian in terms of like the values and what I believe in, and then coming under a church called Khanyisa Church. Which is Khanyisa Church then saying that, okay, we are a church and we want to respond also to the challenges that are faced by communities or community in this case. And then we were based in Gugulethu, if you remember back then. And then during that time there were several challenges that were faced by the community. One of them, the bigger one back then, was HIV and AIDS, and gang violence to add in there, and unemployment, which is a huge thing. And then role modeling, lastly, where we're saying that, we don't have the Mandelas. This is what I always say. We don't have the Mandelas anymore, the Desmond Tutu. The only people that we'll find will be guys that will be on the corner, asking money to the guys or to the pupils that were going to school, to younger people, so, and then you ask yourself, what has this world has gone through? With that being said, so that was the focus of Khanyisa, but then Khanyisa gave back to what we call Izandla Zethemba, which is where we met. Izandla Zethemba, again, focusing into that, being the tool of the church, of course. And then that's how we actually get to work into Uluntu Center. And Uluntu Center, then, my understanding was really a multi-purpose center. I mean, if you recall, there's still a preschool there, a crash, what you call a crash. There were several, NGOs, non-profit organizations who were doing good things, within the community. There was dentists, there was, I remember, there was the whole thing for disabilities.
Yes, I
the guys, doing woodwork and stuff like that. So you can see, the community center itself was doing something. I mean, it saddens me even. Even today, when I pass there every day, to see what has come of Uluntu. Yeah, so that's in a nutshell my understanding and the short story of how we actually got into Uluntu Center. And then, of course, then us going out, then we were able enough and fortunate enough that we have our own building. Of course, about it, which is now we are actually situated in Menenberg. Actually, a community called Tambo Village, right between Menenberg and Gugulethu. Yeah, so that's where we are at right now.
Before we go to the Menenberg branch, I want to ask, like, in terms of its structure, because I believe that before we were introduced as kids, there was only, if I'm correct, there was only a group, Yabantu Abadala.
So as I said that, so Izandla Zethemba was a tool, right? It was a tool for Khanyisa Church, to respond within the challenges that was happening within the community. And then, so one of the biggest challenge was HIV and AIDS. So Izandla Zethemba was the main focus into that. So focusing into HIV and AIDS, we ran what we call support groups. So for people who are infected and affected with HIV and AIDS, and the orphans and vulnerable children as well. When we say vulnerable, someone may think that, when we say orphans or vulnerable, someone may think that, for the guys who don't have families, have lost their parents and so forth. But not that. We are saying that we said that, people who are vulnerable within, the virus itself, people who are vulnerable within the challenges, when we say orphans, we're saying that, those, as much as they have lost hope, but who don't see really their tomorrow, who don't have role models within their lives. So that's the focus point, and then that's how then. So that is the response, if I'm making sense. Yeah. So that was the response of Izandla Zethemba.
Yeah.
And within Izandla Zethemba, having parents, then we have what we call the OVCs. So the OVCs, which is you came in, parents attending, the support group of Izandla Zethemba, and then I was then employed by Izandla Zethemba before I actually volunteered in 2006. Then I was permanently employed in 2007, and I oversee, I think you guys were about 30 odds of you guys. We started with 30, and then it grew, and then of course I think when you guys first arrived we were about 8-9 years old, and then acknowledging you guys are growing, and we needed to open up what we call a teenage group. Which is and then it was fun. One of my best days ever. I still say it this day, one of my best days ever. I mean, we've gone to places, ne? And I've disciplined you guys. Literally, that is. And I think you saw me, angry. You saw me, laughing. And man, I think that space alone. As much as you say that shaped you, and then that shaped to Xolile, the person that you see in front of you today.
So I wanna know the whole shift, because I know before we moved from a Uluntu, where challenges such as breaking in, that was the major issue. And then the whole change, the whole transition of going from a Kukuletu to a Tambo, how was it?
I mean, the transition, man, I wouldn't say it was based on, the challenges that we faced while we were at Uluntu Center. Remember, at Uluntu Center, we were renting the place. So it was not our own space. I mean, now we have, I would say, similar, of course, it's a church building. But a church building that's saying that is doing great things within the community where it's situated in. Now we have our own space that we can call it ours, other than paying rent to people. Now are actually paying rent to us. The space currently, as much as is used for services on Sundays, but during the week, even now, you can go to Khanyisa, it's packed. There are guys who are doing computer classes. After that, there will be children that will come up to do after school work, and a robotic as well. Just outside, there's a soup kitchen, and there's several activities that are constantly happening. So it's been a great gift, if I may say, us having our own space. Going back to what you said earlier on with the break-ins, it is hard. I'm doing something. I'm sure maybe you can relate slightly on this one. It's hard to do something within the community where we are at. Unemployment is a huge thing, and saying that that's something that is close to my heart as well. And you say that you find individual now, especially with the time where we're coming from, you find that we've been hit by a pandemic, and people really, they have quite a lot of time actually to do really nothing. And then this is where I'll get to and say that now opportunities has been created, but guess what? These are not positive opportunities. These are negative opportunities where people are saying that I don't have, let me go and take. So a similar situation that happened back then, you find out, here's something. People, yes, the community acknowledge what is happening at Zethemba or at Uluntu Center, but there are other people as well who are actually saying that we don't have. And I won't say that I know how criminals think, of course. But it's based on my, witnessing, the community that I'm in, saying that, people, they just seize the opportunity and then they go for it. Never mind if one day to take them to jail or even killed.
So I always consider my team as my family, because we go through a lot. Even from starting the company, it was really hard. I understand, and we even know our personal backgrounds. I understand, so we know when someone is feeling like this has happened. I understand. We can be there for each other, even on the personal level. So I want to ask you, in terms of your colleagues, Osis Unati and all the team, man.
Yeah.
Like how was the relationship, and even coming to now,
Yeah.
are you still like
Sure.
in communication?
I mean, as I said to you before that, Izandla Zethemba shaped me. The work that I was doing shaped me to be the man that I am today. And there's a clip within, I did similar thing where I shared about that. It's like a 15 minutes long clip. But going back, definitely we're family. I mean, I recall at one point that, I hope I did say that I grew up in Kukuletu.
Yeah.
And then there was a point where my mom was actually moving and then staying in Khanyisa, to stay in Khanyisa. And Abosis Tops, which is colleague Joe Partridge, the guys that who actually said, Xolile, bring your laundry to us, we'll wash it. These are the individual who actually came in and closed the gap of being of not having a mom on my space, cooking meals for me. And one of my colleague, of course, Unati, was really my sister back then. We still close now. We actually celebrate over the weekend. What you don't know is that we celebrated Unati's mom 60th birthday. So I had the opportunity of baking them a cake. Of course, another story that started at Izandla Zethemba, baking cakes.
I remember.
So I still do that. So we called ourselves really a family. We're close, and we are even close now. Of course, we have grown, and then I've went on, to venture into a new life, doing something similar. Unati is still working within the community for a Peruvian organization called Metro Africa. I know Tobeka is doing some work all around in South Africa.
I once saw her somewhere.
In Pretoria, Joburg. I think she's back now. And Joe Partridge has resided in I think in Komeki somewhere. In Komeki. Yes. So
Oh yeah, that's great. I want to remind you of a very awkward moment that we once had. Before I remind you of that awkward moment, I want to ask you, like, for you to be honest in terms of like seeing me growing up and like behavior I am, like in your own honest opinion, how was I?
Let me use my fan. Sure, let's go.
Yeah.
Where do I start? Sindile.
I don't know, from primary and then
No. I know exactly what we hit. And I mean, of course, I think you and Lunga, who else? Abanonguleko, were the start of Izandla Zethemba kids. I think so. You were very close. I think within that circle alone, I'm sure you can you have recognized that. And then I think as a parent, you always want the best for your children. And for me, even with this music thing. You excelled. You spoke well first, and then staying in a community. That's one thing you recognize. Okay, you spoke well. When I say spoke well English. You were spoken, in terms of like how you articulate yourself and so forth. So that was the key then, and then you recognize that, and then you say, oh, this individual needs to go far. How can I support my goal? Or my plan was, how can I support you to ensure that you reach your dreams? As a parent, I think you shared as well that we don't get to understand in terms of like where you want to be later on, and so I remember, I think, me grasping the whole thing first, okay, music, and then saying, oh, how can I support you as Sindile? Xolile, what role are you going to play into that? Of course, convincing your beloved mom back then, and and later on, Nosis Bako. But I think one thing that I remember then going, I think it was a camp. I hope I remember this correctly. I think it was a camp when you gave me attitude. When your kids give you attitude, and you'll be like, I don't believe this is the same individual that I raised. And then now, definitely this individual is gonna get a spanking.
I remember that.
Also, I think I needed to be harsh with
and
you
I was
guys.
off like from the whole camp.
Off. So I needed to be harsh with you guys. I said, hey, you guys need to show, being role models of the other guys, because you guys have been there. You have walked the walk. You need to you need to show that, you know. And I think it was then, and I won't say it was great, man, watching you grow. It was hard, of course. One thing that I think I've learned from Mrs. Tobeka was that Xolile, you won't be a Superman, meaning that you won't solve every problem that is out there, rather than to give out your time, which is, I really wanted to understand you as you were growing and say, Guti Sindile, how can I support you? To ensure Guti, you know, you reach where you want to be, and it's great to see and to witness even now, to see what you are doing, you know, what you have started, you know, how you have actually strived, which is very important. I mean, the work that I do, I got to you know, to inspire or to aspire individuals. One thing that you guys don't know is that, you know, I use your stories in terms of like, say, hey, there's an individual actually that I've worked with, and then who has strived, who doesn't have anything, you know, hope I'm safe to say that, but who's actually, you know, knows exactly, you know, what he wants to get at the end. He knows exactly what the finishing line looks like. And there's a quote that I normally use. I forgot the name. I do apologize about that. And then to use this quote, you say that a goal without a plan is just a wish. You know, saying that we all have goals in our lives. And then you had a goal when you were part of Izandla Zethemba. Growing up, of course, faced by challenges, and then you had to make choices as well, obstacles, and how to change that into stepping stone, you know. But I think you had a plan. It didn't just stay a wish. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, because back then I would have said, Sindile, what do you want to be? I want to be a musician. And post 15 years later, and then I'll come back and then, Sindile, what do you want to be? And then you say, I want to be a musician. But I think I'm safe to say that you are actually living that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I actually, coming back to this thing of your leadership, I remember, like, before I remind you of the moment, I remember that, like, us growing up, we didn't understand what was really, really going on. And we just knew that that's a safe space. Kumnandi, ngasenga kotuki. And then all of a sudden, when it becomes very serious, I'm like, you are Namasimba. What the fuck, man?
I actually felt that sometimes. But
I always had my energy over but until you guys wrote me in for my last camp, when I became a leader, then I knew what you were guys going through. Because I had to all the time.
Exactly.
And I'm on the hot seat now. Exactly. So I really got to understand what you guys were going through. And I actually learned a lot. And also something that other people don't know is that Abandu, they've always asked me, like, how do you get along with white people? Like, where do you get this whole... And It all actually started with Izandla Zethemba. And I was telling Ubuntu that every time when we have the outing, it when it starts, by the time we get to a destination, if it's Grand West or wherever, I already have a white friend. Who's driving, like the guys who drive us to these places. I already have a white friend and I'm already talking to them. You understand? So I got that whole energy from way back. Going back and over to this awkward moment. Here I am. I was still, I think I was introduced to being a DJ at that time. I think they sent Fike high school. Kukho amaputeri amayithundo mnyurasta enthanda uhlala naye, but we're still kids. So amaputeri athi afuna usikhupha eswetya inyama kwaMzoli. Yeah, understand. So that day I'm like, okay, let's go. It was packed kwaMzoli, and I'm very young to be at Mzoli, but we're forced because like we're kids and we think like we the thing, you understand. When I got there, I was relaxing, chinyama. And let me be honest, when Pete Tampi. I'm Pete Tampi. Hey, I got a scratch. I was like, what? Yo, good time. I was like, yo.
I can't even, I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember that day. That was very awkward, getting a lecture from Zoli. Like, everyone is looking at me and I'm getting a lecture. Like, you were like, you don't mind me being there if but not utywala, I understand, because been forced ba hayi kodwa ndiyalingana nonkuleko nangu nonkuleko nayo lapha, I understand. I always did that,
wow.
And then you were like, nah, it's either uyahamba okanye utya inyama yodwa usele nansi, because you saw it drink, there was it drink also in the table. And I did just that, sat down and datya la nyama ne drink. And it was, you remember it?
Yeah, I won't say ndayikhumbula ne, but you know what, I mean, you mentioned something like Xolile to leaders, and it's really hard. My thing is that it's really hard to because connoissing your story in the it's really hard to actually to tell you even that and say Sindile, and because it's easy for you to say but when I text now you sell and everything, and then whereas I need to be showing what is right and what is wrong. So I always find myself into two-way, into a teacher when it comes to that. I think one of the, as for me, awkward moment, it was when I realized that Sindile Chinese, and I was like, yo, how am I going to unpack Lena Gengo? And then I knew, and then it's easy when I'm with it right and say, this is my religion, and then I need to born and being post glow, and I said, okay, and then one thing that I think I've learned back then was, me coming up with the consequences other than to say, oh, it is wrong to do ABCD, but to say, Sindile, you know what, if you take it dambi Kamzoli, yes, it's nice, definitely it's nice, vibe, everything, but you won't be later on, you won't be able to make the right decision when it comes to you going home, you getting into a fight, because it won't be Sindile 100%, but other than Sindile under the influence, and then that means you won't be able then to make the decision that you need to make. So that's how I actually, even with the Nzango thing, I said, okay, it's fine. Yes, it makes us into a place where we want to be, but please acknowledge, what will be the consequences after that. So difficult one.
I remember another awkward moment whereby the camp. No, it was not camp. It was a hiking Table Mountain.
No, a camp actually. No, are you talking about that?
No, not that one. But like Sasiagu outing.
Okay.
To hike Table Mountain, and I didn't bring my asthma pump with.
Oh.
Yo, you were mad.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
And actually at that time I wanted to stop it because I felt like it's not good for him. I never loved if pharmaceuticals at all.
Yeah.
At all.
No.
So I want to ask you again, like, what are you currently busy with?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So currently, I'm working for an organization called the Zanokhanyo Network. Do you know Common Ground?
Yeah.
Common Ground Suka Good and I. So it's actually a initiative coming out of the Common Ground. So the relationship started way back. So I'm working for that organization. The organization focuses on unemployment. Really, you will laugh, but really focusing on giving individuals hope, but really to flourish and then to be economical active. So what we are saying that, okay, you as a Xolile, you are looking for a job, but what kind of a job are you actually looking for? Do you have expertise for that particular job? So now we are saying that we are running a 16 days workshop where we got to introduce you with your own capabilities, saying that, okay, this is the person that I know who I am, and then that's a job that I'm going to gun for. And then, that's a focus point that we're actually doing.
That's great. The cake is on, huh?
Yeah. Sideline.
Cake, guys.
I'm the shushu. Still doing cakes. How we started really cakes is that Abu Sindile deciding to bake them cake when they had their birthdays. And then I posted it out on on Facebook, and then a friend said that, can you please do me a cake and I'll pay you. And then ever since I still do cakes. I saw them. They're very expensive, just to say, they're very expensive. Competition is tight, which is, it's just Woolworths really. But I still do cakes. Is it Thursday today?
No,
it's Wednesday. Tomorrow I'm baking. I need to bake preparation for the weekend.
That's nice. The reason why I brought you guys because like some other people always ask me like, why me? Why are you bringing me to the
Sure.
platform? It's to honestly give you flowers, Zako.
Okay,
You
sure.
understand? Like based on who I am today, and you played a role big.
Sure.
You and your team and everyone, man. I remember another awkward moment where a friend of ours, rest in peace to Utando Slia. He was naughty. He told us, "Mama, something's walking in a Red Cross." And we walked to a Red Cross, and then go to Red Cross, go figuring on the man. Common ground is like just behind us.
Yeah.
Joe lives behind us.
Oh, I remember that day actually. That I got a phone call saying, Joe, hey, Towndo, Nabanya, they are in front of my gate. I'm like, okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, man, we were troublesome, but like eventually, like we grew. And shout out to everyone, you know, the partner, because I always consider them as my sisters and brothers. Ubuntu, Ambeswa, everyone, man, who was part of a group. And also something that people don't know is that I actually first learned how to DJ a Khanyisa through Tasab's Savelo Tomo. He taught me how to play, and now like I'm registered for Albertine Live, which is like part of music creation. I'm gonna be doing Afro House and Afro Tech.
Nice. Wow.
So I'm really appreciating the fact that you guys believed in me. I understand. Although like Umtu Kula, sometimes you wouldn't really see the vision or the direction that they want to take. But eventually it got to be what it is today, and I would like to say thank you so much, and God bless you, Tayam. God bless you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Sure.
Great.
Cool. Is there anything you wanna tell my people before?
Yeah, I didn't prepare. I asked Cindy Lugoti, okay, what are you going to be talking about? Questions, you know. So I do apologize. I didn't prepare anything, but I think I'll go back to the quote that I shared. You know, we're saying that a goal without a plan is just a wish. You know, I think it's very important that sing about just to acknowledge, you know, where we want to see ourselves. And then as Nike will always say, go to just do it. You know, and then there's a full stop, you know, at the end. Just do it, full stop. And that means actually just get up and then do it. You want to better your life, get up and do it. You know, you want to start something, you know, just get up and go and apply. You want to apply for varsity, get up and fix up your whatever that you need to fix up and go and do it. You know, otherwise it will stay on a wish. You know, a wish is something that is here. It's like I have a goal and then it's a wish is here. And another illustration I'd like to add in with that, you know, when it's your birthday, you got to blow out, you know, your candles. And then, but as we all know that what candles represent the light. Light represent hope. You know, and you're actually blowing out the hope that you need to have. Meaning that they will always say, make a wish first before you blow out, you know, those candles. Then that means the light vanish, but it stays here. You know, and then in order for you then to apply it, one needs to be proactive, meaning that you need to do something about it. So that's my encouragement to you guys. Go out and do it. That's it.
My last two questions before I wrap up. Very, very quick questions. First one, what do you think of Thuso Makutwana? And then the second one, watching your daughter growing, who can you compare her to? Ekrupini.
Ekrupini? Oh, yes. Wow. No, of course, alone.
Like in terms of the vibe and the energy.
Actually, you know what? I'll be honest, Nandoka. What do I think about Thuso? No, Thuso is a good guy. Thuso is my cousin, Abu Bangayazi. It's a guy that I'm actually currently, I know it's Lendis of Yushapa, but I'm currently to strengthen our relationship with like men in our family. And then, so yeah, I love him to bits. I'm not sure if he knows that. Maybe he'll know when he's watching this. Anyway,
he's a mayhemmer. He's probably watching.
And so what else? So my daughter, who can I actually? You know, the person that comes to mind is Sibu Sisiwe actually. Sibu Sisiwe Maweza. 108. That's a person that comes to mind. Why? I remember Ubusiwe's character. We're bubbly. We're outspoken. Similar go. Outspoken, always like wants to know, that girl, that's Nanduk, and then
Yeah.
Ritabile has the same attitude.
Yeah.
We tease her, Nanotimbis, and say, Guti, like, Mrs. Banbani. But yeah, she's that person,
Yeah.
likes to know every time, and then she's out there.
Yeah.
As I said earlier on, that, she's getting into the whole thing of modeling now, and she's 8, and she loves the camera. She would love this, actually.
That's great, man. Thank you so much. Probably would visit you when you're baking your cakes
Sure,
on the
sure.
other show.
Please.
And follow the story and then
No,
show it to the
please
people.
do,
Man.
please do,
That's
please
what
do.
we do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to people who have watched until
Pleasure.
this point. That means you're a true mayhammer and you love us, guys. Guys, I want to ask you a question. Do you like the merchandise? Should I do
This
more?
nice,
Should I bring them on sale? I don't
That's
know. I
amazing.
just got this today, guys. It's the Castle Mayhem TV merchandise. Hopefully we can mass produce them
Sure.
and get them available for everyone. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like our Facebook page, our Instagram. It's the Castle Mayhem TV. We got this, my fair. To anything you want about the castle, we got it. Events, music, business, anything. We'll bring you new shows this year.
Sure.
After May, we're celebrating 1 year. There's a brilliant weekend of festivities that's gonna be happening. I'm gonna announce the dates next month. We're gonna announce the dates next month. Shout out to you, Taex. All the best. Thank you so much, man. It's your boy Carl from Mauchain, Cape Town. Barcelona, Guinea Pole, South Africa, man. We're out.